Der FIS steht an der Telemark hier in Oberjoch in Bad Hindelang und wir sind kurz vor dem Start des zweiten Durchgangs. Haben jetzt hier die zweite Vorläuferin, die gerade hier im Kurs unterwegs ist, in den Kreisen angefahren ist. Und bis dahin versorgen wir von Heidelberg natürlich noch mit guter Musik und gleich geht's dann los, der zweite Lauf des Telemark.
And a very warm welcome back from Oberjoch in Germany for the second run of the sprint here at the FIS Telemark World Cup. I'm Jack Harvard-Taylor and I'm going to be bringing you the rest of the action from today in the sprint and tomorrow in the parallel sprint. But a quick recap over the first run from this morning. In the ladies' race, we saw Johanna Holzmann clinch the fastest time after the first run, followed by Amélie Reymond from Switzerland and fellow Swiss Martina Weiss from Switzerland taking the third medal position after the first run. Unfortunately, Norway's Guro Hilde Skjelseth fell after the first gate as Norway's fastest lady, but hopefully she will do a little bit better in the second run as she gets the first ladies' race underway. In the men's race, we saw Jonas Schmidt from Germany ski from the very back of the pack into first place after an incredible first run. And we saw Phil Lau from France coming in second and Trym Loken from Norway in third. No shortage of action in the men's race though. We saw Sivid Hull from Norway break his pole coming out of the start, a real shame. And we saw a spectacular crash in a 360 from the Swissman Nicolas Michel. Your screen now though, the mighty Amélie Reymond who skied in second place, and the leader after the first run from Germany, a local girl, Johanna Holzmann, who stormed into first place. It's great to see the Germans skiing so well here today. We saw Bene Holzmann, another local German, ski into fourth place after the first run in the men's. Really impressive performance considering he hasn't had much time on the snow this season. And of course the great Jonas Schmidt, who we'll see in a minute, skiing into first. When your screen now, Trym Loken from Norway. Phil Lau, bib number 9 from this morning after a brilliant first run. And there we have on your screen now the leader after the first run, Jonas Schmidt from Germany. Local chap, skied phenomenally, coming from the back of the pack, starting bib 38. Got an impressive result. But in just a few moments' time, we'll be getting the racing back underway, starting with the ladies with Guro Hilde Skjelseth from Norway, now on course. Guru had a bit of a tumble first run, fell over in the third gate. Unfortunately, put her out of a running, out of a contention for today, but good to see her storming down this second run. Looking like she made the line there. You can see in the pictures on your screen now, there's a lot of soft snow around. The sun's come out and the air temperature's warmed up possibly a couple of degrees, and the snow's got very, very difficult. It's slightly sticky, and there's a lot of soft snow out of a racing line, so you don't want to come too far out of a racing line. Otherwise, you will get a much slower, carry a lot less speed through the gates anyway. But Guro Helde Skilset from Norway, making good work of this course. One of the more experienced racers on the circuit, been racing since 2011, and one of Norway's finest, crossing the line in a time of 2:55.4 for the combined two runs. Next up, though, from Sweden, bib number 14, Karin Abrahamsson, our only Swedish runner of the weekend, out here racing with the Norwegian veteran Ole Kullberg, who we'll see a little bit later. Karin, one of the newer girls to the World Cup. I certainly haven't seen her race in the last couple of years or so. I think this might even be her first World Cup season. Great, getting some experience under the belt. Hopefully picking up a few World Cup points.
Praktisch aus dem zweiten dazu. Und jetzt sehen Sie hier unten eine Zahl links, die 0, und dann rechts davon die 4. Das heißt, da hat sie ziemlich viele Penalties.
See in the corner of your screen there, the British coach, Seb Mossar, just clearing some of the fresh snow off the course. It really is tricky conditions. I suspect the later starters will struggle a little bit with conditions. There should be, or likely be, some ruts forming. The Swedish skier, bib number 14, Karin, coming up to the finish now, picking up 6 penalty points, unfortunately. Going to hurt her time. 4 in the jump for not making the line, landing Telemark, and 2 in the gates. Next up, though, bib number 13 from the Czech Republic, Magdalena Kopeka, now on course. Magdalena making some good, clean early turns. You see a little bit of snow coming off the backs of the skis, indicating possibly some of the turns aren't quite as well carved as others. Having said that, there's a lot of fresh snow up there, so it's going to be tricky. I think these skis will have to be quite delicate on the edges. Madeline's going slightly wide after the jump. Keeping it nice and smooth as she comes up towards the 360 now. Kopeka now well into the skating part of this contest, almost falling over inside the turn there. Managing to stay on her feet though. The slightly different course now for the second run. It's set by the Swiss coach Rudi Weber. Having said that, the skate section has remained the same. Possibly a slightly slower set of gates, certainly for the GS. But there we have it. Magdalena Kopeka going into the provisional first place. Next up, though, Antonia Neller from Germany. Just 2 seasons in, Antonia making waves on the German team. Starting with almost a second ahead of Magdalena. Not a bad jump either, making good work of this lower section of the course. Currently 18th overall for the sprint. No doubt looking to better that today. It's great to see so much support out at the finish line for the German skiers, naturally being at home. Crowds have gathered somewhat as we approach lunchtime. Antonia Kneller going for the finish for Germany and skiing into the provisional first position. Very respectable time. Just a few moments' time, we'll have our only Slovenian runner coming down, Masha Strakel, will be followed by Germany's Berit Younger, another German competitor, Katharina Reichmann, for the first of the Swiss, Simone Urli. But next up, bib number 12, Masha Strakel from Slovenia. Masha joined out here by Jura Ališ, the legendary Slovenian skier who took a gold medal in all 3 Telemark disciplines last season. No doubt looking for a win here today. It's great to see the Slovenians really come into power, certainly in the last couple of years. No doubt their coach Frank will be watching back at home as he prepares for the Slovenian World Cup and Junior World Championships happening next week. Masha carrying plenty of speed into the lower section of the course here. I really do feel for the later runners coming up today as the snow softens by the minute. It's going to make for interesting conditions, certainly for the top 30 men. Masha Strakel now well into skating section of this race. 14th overall in the standings. Of course, looking to better that, possibly a top 10. And going into a provisional second. Ladies and gentlemen, just a quick reminder, if you're not familiar with the racing format, World Cup, Telemark racing format, I should say, we are getting faster and faster for the ladies. So they've flipped the order after the first run. So all 14 ladies will be flipped. So that means the fastest lady will go off last, that being Joanna Holzmann. But next up from Germany, our second German runner this second run, Berit Younger, now on course. Berit Younger looking nice and aggressive in these turns, taking slightly more rounded line. Difficult to say whether she made the jump line there. Very difficult camera angle, but we've got some excellent gate judges and jump judges on course today helping out. Berit Younger now well into the skating section of the course. She approaches the finish now. We can see 3 penalty points for the jump. She takes the lead away from Antonia Kneller, taking the first spot. For the time being, of course, we are getting faster and faster. Next up, we'll see fellow countrywoman Katharina Reichmann from Germany, very successful junior skier, taking podiums at Junior World Championship level. Came 7th in Pralu just a week ago, 10th overall in the standings. What can Katharina Reichmann do today? Can she take a top 5 spot? That's my question. Started racing 4 or 5 years ago. Got a bit more experience under her belt than some of the younger German racers here today. Still waiting to take her first podium. Can she take some of the strength from Joanna Holzmann's leading first run and put that into her skiing? Well, making nice work here, Katharina Reichmann. She comes around the 360. Plenty of German support on the course. See a glimpse of Berit Younger there in the finishing area, hanging on to her first spot for the time being, but I think Katharina Leishman might just pip her here. She's got no penalties on the clock, having what looks like a good ski. Katharina Leishman going for the line for Germany. There we have it, taking the lead away from Berit Younger in a convincing second run there. Great jump, smashing the line, landing in Telemark. Really textbook stuff here. Next up, though, our first Swiss contender, bib number 8, Simone Oehrli. Simone started racing some years ago, back in 2013 when she took her first podium in Hindelang. She took her first victories in all 3 disciplines last season in Suicide 6. Oh, sorry, first victory even, sorry, last season, Suicide 6. Certainly favours the sprint. She take a podium today. Simone Oehrli from Switzerland, such a lovely, delicate style, makes it look so easy on the edges. Very, very well trained alpine skier crossing over to Telemark. That's what we can expect to see. I suppose my question is, can she translate that wonderful style into speed? And that's the difficulty. Simone going for the line and taking the lead so far. Next up, though, bib number 10 from France, Angeline Tan-Bouquet. Angeline Tan-Bouquet currently 3rd overall in the standings for the sprint. A little bit disappointed after her first run, looking to make amends in the second run. She's not leaving anything on the line here. Hell for leather. Angeline is on fire, looking very, very aggressive. Angeline Tan-Bouquet for France, leaving nothing in the tank on this second run. Huge jump, slightly on the back foot. She may pick up a penalty for not landing in the Telemark position. Huge run, though, from Angeline, who picked up her first podium some years ago in the sprint. Angeline surely going to take the lead over Simone Oehrli after this run. Having said that, picked up a couple of penalty seconds, which are going to do some damage. There we have it, second spot for Angeline. A real shame picking up those penalties. Certainly one in the jump, unfortunately, another in the gates. Difficult to see exactly where that came. There we have it, enormous jump, almost making the men's line there. Well, we're now into the top 5 ladies. Kicking off bib number 6, Anna-Kathrin Kessler, the second fastest of the German ladies. Certainly one to watch. Kessler, relatively new to the circuit, only her second season, doing incredibly well. Currently 14th overall in the sprint. If she can hold on to that 5th spot today, that would be a brilliant result for Germany. Plenty of sport in the finish for all the Germans, especially Anna-Katharina Kessler, safely into 360. Great skating from a youngster here. Looking really strong as she approaches the finish. Don't think she's got enough in the tank though for Simone Oehrli. There we have it, rolling into 4th position. Fortunately just picking up 3 penalty points for not making that jump line, a real shame. Next up though, from Great Britain, Jasmine Taylor, the 4th fastest lady after the first run. Jasmine, the leading light for Great Britain here today. Really successful skier. Numerous podiums under her belt. No doubt watched at home by young William, Grandma Whitehouse and Mark and Karen, along with the Jasmine Taylor fan club across the whole of the United Kingdom. Jasmine Taylor mentioned earlier, she is racing today for Queen and Country and not leaving anything to chance here. Making some beautiful turns as she approaches the 360 now. Jasmine Taylor, also known to lots of people on the circuit as the Mighty Mouse, a phenomenally powerful skater considering her small stature. Very small, very light and agile. See Simone Oehrli in the finish there, giving a bit of a smile, but I don't think she's going to last very long with the speed Jasmine Taylor's taking into finish now. There we have it. Jasmine Taylor taking the top spot so far. Of course, the top 3 runners to go though. It really is anyone's game today. Can Jasmine take a podium? All will be decided in the next 3 runners. So our next runner, Martina Weiss from Switzerland, now on course. This is Martina's first FIS Telemark World Cup race of the season. She missed the races in France and the opening race in Italy. Skied into 3rd position after the first run. Makes some beautiful turns here today. Can she take a podium in her first race of the season? Super fast skiing from Martina, looking very, very solid over the skis. Unusually, she's skating with alpine poles, as you can see, a pair of Lecky alpine poles as opposed to Nordic cross-country poles that we see most of the racers use. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen anyone skate in Telemark with alpine poles, but they're obviously doing the trick for her. They possibly look a little bit short, but she's carrying plenty of speed into the finish now. Picking up 4 penalties in the gates, which are going to hurt. Skiing into 2nd position. Not a bad run at all. But Jasmine Taylor still retains the lead, so Jasmine Taylor's guaranteed a medal. Martina currently running in 2nd. A great result from the Swiss, considering it's her first run. Jasmine Taylor relaxing into the winner's seat there, looking a bit too comfortable with the likes of Amelie Reymond next to go down, wearing the blue leader's bib. And then Johanna Holzmann, leader after the first run. But the legendary Amelie Reymond now on course for Switzerland. Amelie took a year out, following the birth of her daughter. But one of the veterans here, over 180 World Cup starts to her name. She really is a phenomenal athlete. Huge jump from Amelie Reymond, smashed the jump line, looking so solid on the landing. Amelie, no doubt, looking to build on her lead in the overall standings in the sprint. She's also currently the overall World Cup leader for all 3 disciplines. Looking so composed going into the skating section, whereas some of the less experienced racers possibly starting to tire a bit. Amelie really powering up for the finish. She knows she's got a bit of work to do with Johanna Holzmann currently leading after the first run. Wow, huge run there from Amelie Remel. Over 6.5 seconds ahead of Jasmine Taylor. Phenomenal run from the Swissman. I have to say that's going to be hard for Johanna Holzmann to beat. There we have it, Amelie Remel, huge lead over the fellow ladies who've gone down. But now our final runner in the ladies' race, Johanna Holzmann from Germany. Let's go, Johanna, a local girl living just down the road from Oberjoch. Certainly looking for a win here at home today. Not doing overly well in the classic standings at 5th position so far, considering she took the Crystal Globe last year. She'll be looking to make amends in this race, but a huge amount of pressure going down at the end. Oh, she's getting slightly caught up there, almost putting an arm inside the gate. A little bit tentative over the jump as well. Difficult to say whether she would have made the line. Johanna Holzmann on course for Germany. This is where it really matters though. Coming out of a 360 into skate section. Lovely clean railing from Johanna Holzmann. Huge amount of support from all the Germans, and she's got a little bit of time left on the clock, but it's quickly running out. Has she got the speed to take the win? Johanna Holzmann for Germany goes into 2nd position. Just off the time, just off Amelie Remel. Well, there we have it, ladies and gentlemen, a phenomenal 2nd run for the ladies. Amelie Remel taking the lead, with Johanna Holzmann in 2nd and Jasmine Taylor in 3rd. A really convincing 2nd run by Amelie Remel there, just giving her the win, just ahead of Johanna Holzmann, denying her that win at home. Still a cracking performance from all the ladies today. There we have Jasmine Taylor on our screen as well. Took the bronze medal position today. So in just a few moments' time, we'll have the ladies' flower ceremony, followed by the men's 2nd run. But there we have the official results. Amelie Remel from Switzerland taking today's win, followed by Johanna Holzmann from Germany and Jasmine Taylor from Great Britain skiing into 3rd position. You can see on your screen now the course looking like it's deteriorated somewhat since the first run. There's a lot of soft snow out there, slightly warmer temperatures. It's going to make an interesting 2nd run for the men. Rather relieved looking Amelie Remel on your screen there. Obviously delighted by her win. Possibly a little bit nervous going into that 2nd run, just off the pace of Johanna Holzmann. Now we conclude the flower ceremony for the ladies with overall World Cup leader Amelie Remel clinching the title. Spectacular 2nd run. Plenty of support in the finish for the Germans. Lots of fans out today here at the weekend, supporting on their home nation. Fortunately, the weather's got become slightly overcast. We saw a glimpse of sunlight this morning, or over lunch really. And temperatures warmed up a bit, but it's getting a bit chilly again for the men's race, a bit more overcast. Possibly not quite as good clarity coming down the slope for the men. On your screen now, we can see some of the men just starting to get ready before their run. We'll see Ondrej Heger from the Czech Republic getting the men's second run underway, followed by Ben Emsley from Great Britain, and then Norway's Jakob Alvberg. Just waiting now for the ladies to commence the flower ceremony. There's a number of procedures that have to happen before then. Of course, we have to wait for the official results to be signed off by the technical delegate and the chief of race. No doubt they'll be checking gate penalties as well, checking everything is in order. Well, as you can see, it's slightly more overcast now than it was this morning here in Oberjoch, Germany. It's great to have so much snow, though I don't think I've ever seen Oberjoch looking so snowy. Though we have today's 1-2 Amelie Reymond from Switzerland on your right, Johanna Holzmann on the left. Back to the top, Adrien Etivin from France. Looking on, trying to stay warm ahead of their run. But there we have it, Jasmine Taylor from Great Britain taking today's third position. In second place, Johanna Holzmann, the local girl from Germany. No doubt a little bit disappointed not taking the gold ahead of Amelie Reymond, but there she is, the great, the legendary Amelie Reymond, the most successful FIS World Cup athlete of all time. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen, today's podium in the ladies' race. Amelie Reymond on top, clinching the win ahead of Johanna Holzmann from Germany and Jasmine Taylor, the mighty mouse from Great Britain, once again taking the podium. Really impressive skiing, I have to say, from Amelie Reymond, having taken a year off, given birth to her daughter, come back and now back on top. On your screen now, the start list for the second run of the men's race. Ondrej Heger from the Czech Republic going off first, followed by Ben Emsley from Great Britain and Norway's Jakob Alvberg from Norway. In the men's race, we'll see the top 30 men flipped after the times from the first run. So the fastest man after the first run will go down in 30th position, that being Jonas Schmidt, who won the first run, followed by Phil Lau, who's currently in second position, and Trim Locken
after the first race,
in
and
third.
then the second run was really perfect. What do you think about your performance?
Yeah, after the first run, I was not so. Yeah, it was satisfied, but I think I can be better. And then the second run, I get a really good run, and I'm really happy to win here in Oberjoch.
Thank you. And some words in French?
C'est clair qu'après la première manche, j'étais pas très satisfaite. C'était bien, mais je pensais qu'il y avait quelque chose en plus à faire. Et je suis vraiment très contente avec ma deuxième manche de gagner ici à Oberjoch.
Merci beaucoup.
Danke.
Well, on your screen just a few minutes ago, we saw Amélie Remmel giving her winner's interview. We'll be getting the men's race underway. You can see it's still blowing a fair bit up top. A bit of wind. Possibly not quite as much wind as the first run. But just a quick recap from first run of the men's. We saw Jonas Schmidt from Germany having a spectacular run, skiing into first position from the back of the pack.
So, Platz 2, geführt nach dem ersten Durchgang, trotzdem happy oder ein bisschen enttäuscht, dass es nicht für ganz vorne gereicht hat?
Ja klar, wenn man nach dem ersten Lauf führt, dann will man das natürlich auch nach Hause fahren, im wahrsten Sinne des Wortes daheim. Aber ja, mit meinem ersten Lauf bin ich echt mega happy. Wieder richtig gute Schwinge dabei gehabt, jetzt im zweiten 2 kleine Fehler eingeschlichen. Aber ich denke, ich bin wieder auf einem guten Weg nach ganz vorne.
Was waren so die kleinen Fehler? Ich habe gesehen, mit der Hand mal irgendwo kurz vorm Sprung gab es eine Unsicherheit, oder?
Genau, bin einfach nicht ganz sauber drüber gestanden und dann kommen so die Wackler von oben, um das irgendwie auszugleichen. Und dann bin ich leider einmal eingegangen. Aber es war auch nicht ganz der Zug dahinter wie jetzt im ersten Lauf. Also ja, einfach das nächste Mal besser machen. Morgen ist ja schon die nächste Chance und denke, Parallelsprint, das liegt mir noch mehr.
Da hast du letztes Jahr gewonnen, wenn ich sie richtig in Erinnerung habe. Diese Saison ging es bisher noch nicht ganz so gut. Woran liegt es und worum geht es jetzt auf einmal auf Allgäuer Schnee wieder besser?
Ja, weil es daheim ist, denke ich. Ja, das Umfeld passt hier super und da fühle ich mich wohl. Die Schwierigkeiten am Anfang der Saison, ich habe versucht, auf einen längeren Ski umzusteigen, um einfach bei der WM noch schneller zu sein. Und leider ja, hat es nicht ganz so wunderbar geklappt und manchmal muss man dann eben kleine Schritte zurück machen. Ich denke, das hat mir auch gut getan, das habe ich auch daraus gelernt und jetzt, dass es wieder vorangeht, ist umso schöner. Und ja, jetzt heute bestes Saisonergebnis eingestellt und ja, hoffentlich kommt noch mehr.
Ich drücke die Daumen, viel Erfolg für morgen und gratuliere für heute.
Danke, danke sehr.
Gut.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, just a few minutes' time, we'll be getting the men's race underway. We see Andre Heger there on your screen from a Czech team just warming up. Of course, there's no shortage of action after the first run. We saw Sivert Hull from Norway breaking his pole coming out to start, and Nicolas Michel from Switzerland having a rather spectacular fall in the 360. And of course, Jonas Schmidt, the local from Germany, skiing into first spot. But first off, Andre Heger from the Czech Republic, now on course. Andre Heger, one of the most experienced racers here, been racing on the World Cup since 2010. Plenty of experience behind him. Came 30th after the first run. No doubt he'll appreciate a cleanish course. Of course, the ladies have been down already. Making nice work in this lower section. This is Andre's first race, first World Cup race this season. He didn't race in France and he didn't race in the opening race in Italy either. So no doubt looking to get a couple of good results under his belt here in Germany. Andre Heger over the line. Next up though, Ben Emsley from Great Britain. Ben came 29th after the first run, making some good turns up here. Plenty of support back home, no doubt, from Granny Pam, Kate and Big Dave cheering him on. Then sponsored by Bert's Pizza. Truly the best pizzas in the whole of the UK. Ben Emsley now on course, sadly missing his brother Jack Emsley, who has started his World Cup racing career, sadly not here in Oberjoch, Germany. Just Ben leading the way for the Emsley brothers. A little bit off the pace here. And 3 seconds on the jump, unfortunately. Unlike Ben, a good jumper as well. Next on course, the young Norwegian though, Jakob Alfberg. Just 19 years of age. Certainly enjoying this Swiss course set by Rudi Weber, the Swiss team coach. It's great to see so many young Norwegians coming through the system. Really, really strong development program in Norway, as you would expect. And some really talented skiers rising up through the ranks. There we have it, Jakob Alfberg going into first position for the time being. Still some very, very fast skiers coming down the course, including this man, bib number 32, Max Suter from Germany. The distinctive black and white German race suit. Max on absolute fire today. Having a storm of a run. For a lot of these guys, there's nothing to lose, really. Of course, it's a game of 2 runs. It takes 2 perfectly joined up runs to win. But for some of these guys, perhaps a little bit further back, there really is nothing to lose on this second run. The podium's probably a little bit out of sight for these guys. Having said that, we saw our last runner after the first run, Jonas Schmidt, come through from the back, so anything is possible. Next up, though, from Germany, bib number 35, Julian Zerbert. One of the nicest guys you'll meet in the World Cup. Currently going out with one of the nicest girls you'll meet in the World Cup. Iloué Ravenel will be back at home in Chamonix, cheering Julien on. Julien spent a lot of time in Chamonix, training with the French team and the British team. And looking very composed coming into finish. Unfortunately picking up a flag there, but I was going to say picking up 4 gate penalties on the jump. Taking the lead though, Julian Zerbert for Germany. Not a bad run at all. Next up though, our only Canadian runner, Antoine Belliger-Moron, who's come over all the way from Canada over to Europe. This is his first race of this World Cup season. Antoine, the friendly French-Canadian, making waves in the World Cup here as our only Canadian racer. Also happens to be Antoine's birthday today. So a big happy birthday to Antoine as he comes over the line. Going into 5th position, unfortunately, again, not making that all-important jump line. Picking up 4 penalties there. There we have it, Jonas Schmidt on our screen now, our leader after the first run. Big jump there from Leonhard Müller though, bib number 20. Leonhard, one of the leading German men skiers. Safely into skating section now. Let's see what Leonhard Müller can do. Currently 19th equal in the overall sprint standings. Can he do one better today? Maybe a top 15? Only time will tell. Well, going into the lead, we're pretty convincing margins so far. Giving Julian Zerbert a bit of a fist pump there. Both pretty pleased with their performance, I guess. Next up, though, from Norway, Eva Hekselberg. Good to see so many Norwegian Vikings over here in Germany, in Oberjoch. Hekselberg, just 19 years of age. Skating hard in the final section of this sprint race. Great run from a Norwegian. Picking up a few penalties there, unfortunately. Putting him in a provisional 3rd position. Clearly frustrated with that performance. Next up, though, bib number 33, the great, the mighty Italian, Raffaele Macnic. Raffaele, like myself, a big fan of a pizza pasta in Italy. We had a fantastic time over in La Tuile for the opening races. Great to see Raffaele still smashing his way down the World Cup course. Raphael's really come on in the skating section of these courses. He's relatively new to the World Cup, 2nd season in now, or 3rd season, sorry. But skating's really come on in the last year or so, putting him in provisional 4th position. Always smiling, fantastically able athlete. Next up, though, on course, Sivit Hull, bib number 10. Sivit Hull had all sorts of problems in the first run, snapped his pole coming out the start gate. A real shame, but I'd love to see this skier on the podium. Probably one of the tallest, most powerful skiers on the circuit. Sivit Hull, a true gentleman as well. And the 23-year-old's pushing hard now. No doubt he'll get a fairly convincing time after this run. Currently 7th in the sprint standings, taking the provisional 1st place now. Of course, still some very, very fast runners to come down the course, including this man here from Germany, Thomas Olovius. Thomas, 29 years old, looking for a top 15 spot here today. 29th overall in the World Cup standings for the sprint. An absolute storm of a run, though. There we have it. Thomas Olovius safely over the line, putting him in 3rd position. Not bad at all from the German. Next up, though, one of my favourite Frenchmen, Noé Clay. A long-standing joke amongst many of the British and the French team about whether he has enough clay to get down the course. And today, I think he does have the clay. Noé Clay storming this course now, making it look so easy. Current junior world champion in the Classic, which he took in Murin last year. Never taken a World Cup podium yet. And 2nd position for Noé Clay. There we see Sivit Hull jumping on the team radio there, no doubt sending a few messages up to Tim Locken, currently in 3rd position, yet to come down. First up, though, bib number 18 from Switzerland, Gato Pukura, now on course. Gato now safely into the skating section. Of course, he's got his work cut out today. Unfortunately, picking up 3 penalty points on the jump for not making the distance. It's not going to help his cause, but there we have it. Next up, bib number 19, Christoph Frank from Germany. Also known as the Frankinator. Very, very smooth, very slick German. Second season Racing World Cup. No shortage of energy and enthusiasm from this young man. Christoph Frank from Germany coming up to the finish now. Has he done enough to go into the lead? Fortunately, no time on our screen just yet. Oh, and that looks like Matti Lopez. Sorry, Elie Nabo, correction. Over for France. We didn't quite see what happened there. Here we see in the replay. Oh, just falling inside the turn. Getting into the rough snow there. Putting a hand down, recovering from that last turn, and there we have it. Let's hope he's okay. We see his ski come off. It looks like he's back on his feet, which is good to see. Never nice, though, coming out, especially with so much snow on the course, as there is today. Makes for a bumpy ride. Shame to see Elie Nabo out. Next up, though, from Norway, bib number 16, Henrik Buchbrein, next to go down. There he is in the start gate. Successful junior racer. Now on the World Cup circuit. No doubt looking for a top 10 position today. Plenty of talent in the Norwegian camp, of course, with Trym Loken, who's currently running in 3rd position. Henrik tucking for the jump. Difficult to say whether he made the line. Looking at this angle. There we have it. 3 penalties, not making the line, unfortunately. Henrik safely into the 360. Now into the skating section of this contest. Can he knock Sivid Hole from that top spot for the time being? Henrik Buchbrein going for the line for Norway. Going into 6th for 3 seconds, almost 3.5 seconds off the mark there. Sivid Hole still showing his dominance in the lead for the time being. Next up, though, another Norwegian, bib number 3, Christian Lelvik Gelsted in the gate. Another big, strong Norwegian Viking on course. Some nice upper turns here, and see the course starting to rut a little bit underfoot, possibly looking a little bit shaky. Lelvik Gelsted, all the way from Morgedal in Norway, where Telemark was invented. Started racing in 2016, so a bit of a newcomer to the circuit. Christian making good work of this course, though. Fortunately picking up 4 penalty points, 3 on the jump for not making the line and 1 for not making the telemark position. Still though, Sivid Hull holds the lead. Huge jump there from a Norwegian, still not making the line though, unfortunately. There we have Sivid clutching his Nordica ski. Next up though, Corey Snyder from the US of A. Corey no doubt being watched by Tanner Wisnik, who unfortunately had an injury. His teammate, who's come over for the season, who'll be in Chamonix, watching all the action unfold. As I mentioned in the first run, Corey's quite often my wild card coming into these races. Extremely dynamic skier. Corey Snyder for the USA, making his way into the 360 now. He's going to have a little bit of work to do going into the skating section. Not a bad run at all from Snyder, currently running in 14th in the overall standings. Corey, another of the veterans in the World Cup. He's been racing since 2008, some years ago. Corey Snyder for the USA, going over into 4th position, picking up the 4 penalties on the jump. There he is, the happy American. Next up, though, bib number 1 from France, from Maribel in France, Adrien Etiva. Allez, Adrien. One of the slighter skiers in the World Cup, his 2nd World Cup season. A familiar face on the French Cup circuit. Still looking to get a few more races under his belt, no doubt. Making nice work of the top section of this course. Very, very similar style to the legendary Phil Out. Oh, looking a little bit wild in the air there, arms flailing around a bit more composed now. Back into the lower section of the course. So smooth around the 360. Not quite making the jump line there. 3 points, 3-second penalty for not making the line. Another additional second for not being in the telemark position somewhere in the course. Adrien Etiva from France, currently 15th overall in the sprint standings. Can he go 1 better today? There we have it, a provisional 3rd position for the Frenchman. You see his outside leg just getting shaked around in some of those ruts. Almost overcooking the jump, almost getting a little bit too far over the top. Sivid Hull smiling as he's retained that 1st position still. Next up though, someone's going to beat him, fellow Norwegian Amund Mosterhagen, also known as the Monster on the course. Such a strong GS skier, incredibly powerful skater as well. Good to see Mosterhagen take a top spot here today. Been in the circuit for a little while, started in 2014. Huge jump from Mosterhagen. Surely he made the jump line there. Currently 10th in the overall sprint standings. Can he take a top 5 today? Quite possibly. Finished just outside the top 10 after the first run. Amund Mosterhagen giving it everything. Looking so strong coming around the skate section. See Sivid Hole there cheering him on from the winner's seat. I think he's done enough. Certainly no penalties yet. There we have it. Almost 4 seconds ahead of Sivid Hole for Amund Mosterhagen. Phenomenal performance from the Norwegian. I suspect he'll hold that place for a little while. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're now into the top 10, kicking off with Ole Kullberg from Sweden on your screen. Ole, the only Swedish man racing here today, or over the weekend even. Bit of a veteran on the World Cup circuit. Kullberg looking so smooth in these upper turns. Not getting bounced around too much either in these ruts. Big jump from the Swede, possibly a little bit short of the line. There we have it, a 3-second penalty for Kullberg, not making the line. This is his first race of the new season though. I say new season, almost halfway through already. Ole has been taking a bit of time out, studying, has just started studying to become a doctor. So no doubt he'll be a very, very busy man over the next few years. But great to see Ole here in Oberjoch. And there we have it, into second spot for the time being. Mosterhagen still in the winner's seat. Next up though, Stefan Matter from Switzerland. Stefan took the second position in the last sprint in Pralu. Started racing in 2014, took his first podium the following year in Hintertux, 2015. Such a smooth, elegant skier, really rails the skis, cranks it over. Absolute textbook skiing once again from Stefan Matter. Oh, looking really aggressive going over that jump, really far forward. So composed as he approached the 360. After what looks like a faultless run, I'd be surprised if Stefan doesn't take the lead away from Amund Mosterhagen after this run. Absolute storm of a run. No penalties on the clock. Stefan Matter for Switzerland going into the final straight here. Has he got enough in the tank? Yes, he does. A convincing almost 4.5 seconds. Stefan Matter. Huge run from the Swiss. Big jump. See arms flailing a bit. Getting into the Telemark position before he's landed. A dangerous tactic, but it's obviously paid off. Next up though, Louis Uber from Germany, our third fastest German after the first run. Louis Uber went down 4th after the first run, currently 26th in the overall sprint standings, so had a fantastic first run. Looking perfectly composed until he slipped up slightly. It looked like he'd probably pick up a penalty in the gates for that. Lovely jump though. Looking so strong in these lower gates. Safely around the 360 now, well into the skating section he goes. Louis Uber for Germany. There we have it. 4 seconds penalties on the clock. It's going to hurt his time as we see it slipping away there. Very unfortunate second run, putting him in 5th position for the time being. Still very respectable from the German. There we have it, just getting caught, falling over his ski, going back into Telemark position. Next up, though, on your screen, bib number 6 from France, Matty Lopez, currently running 8th in the sprint standings. Matty is from Maribel in France, trains alongside Hindelang. You can see on your screen now, it's starting to snow a bit more. Sort of a cross between snow and hail. It's quite unusual conditions here in Oberjoch. Will make racing a little bit more difficult towards the back of the pack. Matty Lopez looking strong. Big jump from the Frenchman. Surely he made the line. Well into the low section of the course, coming into the 360. Matty Lopez from France. Very successful junior racer. Picking up a number of Junior World Championship medals. Be good to see this guy back on the podium. Took a 3rd position in the Classic in Roucan some years ago in 2015. Struggled a little bit since then. Matty Lopez for France goes into 2nd after that 2nd run. Stefan Matter still in the winner's chair. But our final Swiss hope of the day, Bastien Dayer, wearing the leader's bib, currently leader of the sprint. Didn't perform quite so well in the first run. He's got his work cut out for the 2nd run, but if anyone can come back, it's going to be Bastien Dayer. Absolute legend, 31 years of age. Over 200 World Cup starts to his name. And a great support team back at home with his daughter, Anna and Marina. Bastien really has nothing to lose today. 6th after the first run. What can he do today? Can he make a podium? Bastien Dayer, superb skater. For a number of years, he was the Classic overall winner. Excellent endurance athlete. Hugely powerful as well. Bastien Dayer takes the 1st spot. There we have it for the time being. Superb run from Bastien Dayer, creating some beautiful angles, really cranking it over inside hand down the snow. Phenomenal skiing from the Swissman. Clearly delighted with that run. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're now into the top 5 men. Starting with Jure Eliš from Slovenia. Jure just a fraction of a second ahead of Bastien Dayer after the first run. You see the snow really coming down now, making for slightly awkward conditions. Certainly compared to some of the first men that came down the course. Jure looking super strong. Nice jump from the Slovenian. Currently 6th in the overall sprint standings. 5th after the first run. Can he take a top 5 today? Can he take a podium? Jure Eliš for Slovenia. Storming for his 2nd run. Fortunately picking up a penalty in the gates, which is going to hurt. I'm not quite sure whether he's got enough in the tank to beat Bastien Dayer, our current leader. There we have it, the clock just slipping away, going into 4th for Jure Eliš. Well, Jure Eliš Currently in fourth, but 4 top men to go. The first one being Benedikt Holzmann from Germany. Fourth after the first run. A real veteran on the German circuit. So powerful, so agile through the turn. You see him jumping out of every turn. The older brother of Joanna Holzmann, who took the 2nd position in the ladies' race. A real racing pedigree of a family. Bene Holzmann hasn't perhaps had as much training this season as some of the other athletes, with this being his first World Cup race of the season. Storming his way down the course, so slick, absolutely faultless run from Bene Holzmann. It'd be great to see a couple of Germans on the podium today. Of course, he's got the skate cut out first, and Bene Holzmann fantastic skater as well. You see his arms moving at such a rate. Can he sneak into the podium spot today? Bene Holzmann, no he can't. Well, finishing a provisional 2nd for Bene Holzmann. Has he done enough to take a podium? Fortunately, just picking up a penalty. Fantastic skiing from the German. Of course, 3 more skiers to go. 3 leading skiers to go who will decide the podium. Next up, Trym Loken from Norway. Norway's leading light on the World Cup circuit. Currently 3rd overall in the sprint standings. Trym took Crystal Globes last year though, so an excellent contender for today's medals. Arcing some lovely rounded turns here. Managed to generate, oh, just getting caught out in the rough there. I was going to say, managing to generate so much speed coming out of the turns. Unlike Trym, this is looking a little bit scrappy this 2nd run, which is not like Trym at all. Looking like he's fighting just a little bit too hard. We saw him coming out of a racing line just before the 360. Trym Loken from Norway though, putting down a good skate here. Again, he's off the pace though. 3-second penalty on the jump. Unfortunately, I imagine not having enough speed after coming out of that racing line has put Trym Loken out of contention. What a tragedy for the Norwegian. 2 more races to go though. The 2 fastest races after the first round. Bastien Dyer now guaranteed a bronze medal, which I'm sure he'll be delighted with. Let's see what these 2 men can do. Phil Lau from France, the great, the legendary Phil Lau. With over 200 World Cup starts to his name. The true veteran of the World Cup circuit. Over 50 World Cup victories over the years. Phil has the most amazing ability to recover from any such errors. Such an aggressive skier, smashing his way down through the gates. Big jump from Phil Lau, holding it together on the landing. Picked up at 1 penalty somewhere along the line in the gates, but a cracking run from Phil. It's certainly going to be fast. Can Phil Lau take top spot here today? Of course, we sort of thought it was Phil's victory after the first run, but we saw Jonas Schmidt from Germany, the last runner, clinch the top spot, and Phil just picking up 4 penalties there after what looked like a huge jump. Going into 6th position for Phil Lau. Real shame for the Frenchman. Clearly frustrated, throwing his pole down. Difficult to say where he lost so much time. Again, probably come down to the penalties. 4 seconds is going to hurt your time, but it just goes to show how tight this 2nd run is turning out to be. Bastien Dayer still top spot, guaranteed a second medal now, possibly a win. And now Jonas Schmidt, the German favourite from Oberjoch itself, and the fastest man after the first run. Can he take the win today for Germany? Can he deny Bastien Dayer that win? Jonas Schmidt on course. Textbook skiing here from the German veteran. Possibly over-rotating the body a little bit, trying to generate as much energy as possible coming out of the turns. First World Cup of the season for Jonas Schmidt. Big jump for the German. Looks like he made the line. Again, difficult to see from this angle. Safely into 360 now. Plenty of support for the homeboy, Jonas Schmidt, who skied from the back into first position after the first run. He does have his work cut out now, though, and I'm not sure whether he's done enough. Bastien Dayer had such a strong second run. Jonas Schmidt, though, going for the line. It's going to be tight. Jonas Schmidt from Germany goes into second, giving Bastien Dayer the top spot. What a close second run. Brilliant result for Bastien Dayer, taking the top spot there. Jonas Schmidt as well, huge credit to him, skiing the fastest time after the first run from the back of the field. There we have it, just slipping up slightly over his skis. Incredible performance from Jonas Schmidt, especially given it's his first World Cup of the season. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the top men who've gone down. Bastien Dayer, Jonas Schmidt, Bene Holzmann. So actually not a bad day at all for the Germans. I think they can be very, very pleased with that performance indeed. Of course, Bastien Dayer from Switzerland, though, just denying the local Jonas Schmidt of that gold. Also great to see Bene Holzmann in third position after that very closely fought second run. He'll be delighted, no doubt. Next up, though, bib number 26, Maxime Mossad from Switzerland on course. We've got 7 more runners before we conclude the men's race. No doubt the course is going to be somewhat bumpier, somewhat choppier than it was for the first men. At this stage in the race, so important for these runners at the back to get a good overall position, picking up some World Cup points, getting some slightly better FIS points, which will move them higher up the pecking order and up the start list for future sprints. Maxime Mossad now coming into the final part of the skating section, the top yellow control gate. Picking up 3 seconds on the jump. Fortunately, a bit of a way off the pace for Maxime Mossad. Still a good performance. Next on course, bib number 36 from Great Britain, Louis Hatchwell. There he is, Louis Hatchwell from Great Britain. Slightly disappointed after his first run. He picked up a few penalties, wasn't quite sure. Oh, Louis Hatchwell getting his hand caught inside the gate. I was going to say, Wasn't quite sure where the penalties came from in the first gate. Yeah. Louis Hatchwell unfortunately skiing out of the race. What a shame for Louis Hatchwell. Next up though, bib number 13 Valentin Rödet. Valentin again getting bumped around a little bit. Making some nice arc turns though. Just coming out into the rough a little bit. Coming out of a Telemark position. Safely over the jump. Picking up 3 penalties for not making the line, unfortunately. Valentin currently 26th position in the overall sprint standings. Can he go one better today? Of course, a lot of these guys towards the back will be looking to beat their bib number, so anything ahead of 34 will be very, very respectable indeed. Valentin just losing his polling a little bit there, going into 31st. Next up though, Alec Dixon from Great Britain, bib number 25, sorry. Had a good chat with Alec after the first run. Certainly looking to make amends on the second run before his brother Colin arrives. We'll be racing tomorrow. Alec, a very talented boy with various different hobbies, some of them a bit more unusual than others. I understand he's an amateur stripper, I'm told. Not quite sure how that works, but Alec Dixon for Great Britain, making good work on this course. Sadly picking up 3 penalties on the jump. Maybe he should have stripped some of those clothes off before the run. A bit more aerodynamic, but Alec Dixon from Great Britain going into 31st position. Fine performance from the young Brit. Lovely wink there. Next up though, Robin Kraft from Germany. Robin Kraft just getting a bit late and low before the 360 there, unfortunately knocking off what will be a lot of his speed. There you have it, trying to generate a bit of speed coming over 360. He's going to have a very crafty skate here to make up a little bit of time. Robin Kraft for Germany, coming around the top yellow control gate. Picking up 4 penalties, 3 on the jump, 1 in the gates. Giving it everything for the line and going into 33rd position for Robin Kraft. Our final German runner on the course now, Maximilian Uber. Nice jump from Maximilian, slightly short again of the line. Maximilian currently 24th overall in the sprint standings. Looking to better that today. As I mentioned before, it's great to see so much support for the German racers out here in Oberjoch. Some great skating as he goes around the top yellow control gate. 4 penalties on the jump, unfortunately, gonna hurt his time. 3 for not making the line, additional penalty for not landing in the Telemark position. There we have it, 34 for Maximilian Uber. And our final runner now on course for Russia, Nikolai Isayev. Nikolai has been doing a huge amount of work in Russia to promote the sport of telemark skiing. Also one of the friendliest, most modest guys in the World Cup. It's great to have a Russian competitor racing over here in Europe. Nikolai, coached by his brother, spends a little time in Engelberg teaching skiing. And coming up to the top yellow control gate, going for the finish now. Nikolai Isayev going for the finish, going for the line. There we have it, 35th position for Nikolai Isayev from Russia. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes today's racing. In the men's race, of course, we saw Bastian Dyer from Switzerland taking the win, followed by Jonas Schmidt from Germany and Bene Holzmann, also from Germany. What was a very, very tightly fought set of races. Of course, before that in the ladies, we saw Amelie Reymond continuing to show her dominance, taking the gold. Johanna Holzmann from Germany in second, and Great Britain's Jasmine Taylor in third position. So in just a few moments' time, the men's flower ceremony will commence. Just a quick reminder, we'll be back tomorrow for the parallel sprint, where we'll see the top racers go head-to-head in a knockout competition. Rather unfortunate weather here in Oberjoch. Had a few splatters of rain. Hopefully it'll get a little bit colder overnight and turn into snow. Great to see so many spectators still on the course waiting for the men's flower ceremony. A really great atmosphere here in Germany. Lots of the course workers are family and parents of the racers. Everyone really comes together. Lots and lots of telemarketers on the slopes as well, which is great to see. A few well-deserved beers for the course crew at the bottom. Your screen now, the two German homeboys, Bene Holzmann, Jonas Schmidt. There you have it. Benedikt Holzmann from the local area here in Germany. Fantastic run for him, being his first World Cup of the season. And Jonas Schmidt, also from Germany. And today's winner, overall World Cup leader in the sprint, Bastian Dyer from Switzerland, clinching the win, and a fairly convincing win as well. So Bastian Dyer will continue his dominance as the leader of the World Cup. But of course, we'll be back tomorrow for the parallel sprint, which really is anyone's game. Knockout competition, a lot of psychology involved. Many congratulations to today's winners, both from Switzerland, Bastian Dyer and Amelie Reymond. And we'll be back tomorrow. That's all for now. Thank you for joining us.
Denn morgen wird es ja richtig spannend. Parallel geht es dann hier in Hindelang.
Congrats, Bastien, on the victory today. 6th place after the first run, and then the victory. Was it a perfect race for you today?
Thanks, that's amazing. I didn't believe I just hoped to be on the podium with a strong second one, so it's just amazing to be for the victory after this run.
And what did you think about the course and the weather conditions?
The weather is really strange because yesterday it was really a hard condition and we all prepared the ski for hard condition. Then we see this morning it was a little bit soft, really wet, like 8 degrees. So we was not used to have this condition this winter, and I think it was really difficult to ski today.
Thank you. Und ein paar Wörter auf Deutsch noch?
Danke vielmals. War sehr schwierig heute, weil die Bedingungen waren ziemlich warm und wir sind überhaupt nicht gewöhnt dieses Jahr mit 5 bis 8 Grad zu fahren. Also das war nicht einfach zum Fahren, aber unglaublich. Nach 6. Platz, nach erstes Lauf ist das wirklich unglaublich für einen Sieg. Ich hatte kaum erwartet, mit einer starken Leistung irgendwie auf den Podest zu kommen.
Herzlichen Glückwunsch.
Danke vielmals.
Platz 2, Gratulation, und das nach, ich habe es gehört, 2 Jahre keine Rennen mehr gefahren. Wie ist sowas möglich?
Naja, ich meine, ganz auf der faulen Haut bin ich dann doch nicht gelegen. Ich habe die Zeit intensiv genutzt, habe mich technisch noch einen Schritt weiterentwickelt und das Resultat sehen wir hier. Ich freue mich auf jeden Fall unglaublich, dass es so gut aufgegangen ist.
Vor allen Dingen beim Heimwerk-Cup, das muss doch ein Traum sein, oder?
Natürlich, ohne Frage, ohne Frage.
Wie schwierig war es zu fahren? Weil jetzt gerade im zweiten Durchgang ist es ein bisschen dunkel geworden, war schon gar nicht so leicht, oder?
Ja doch, in der Tat, Sicht war schon ein Thema. Die Bodensicht war schon relativ haarig, also die Spuren der vorherigen Läufer und die Rippen sind einfach schwierig zu erkennen, schwierige Kontraste. Aber auch der Hang ist relativ hinterhältig, also das ist gar nicht so einfach, wie er ausschaut. Aber von dem her bin ich umso froher, dass es so gut aufgegangen ist.
Also den ersten Durchgang finde ich überragend. Mit allerletzter Startnummer noch mal besser. Wie geht sowas?
Ja, ich denke, da können wir unsere gewaltige Scheibe vom Organisator abschneiden. Die haben eine richtig gute Piste hingekriegt und haben auch bis zum letzten Mann durchgehalten. Und so hat die noch eine richtig gute Piste und kann noch richtig attackieren.
Also viel Erfolg für morgen und gratuliere für heute nochmal. Danke.
Dankeschön.
Merci.